likes this guy named Patrick. He's kinda pathetic, so tragic. Makes the most with the little that he has. Chasing aliens and UFOs. He lost his marbles, everyone knows. Makes the most with the little that he has. Like a paper bag, he won't last. Some say he's sensational, others say he's delusional, but most agree he fucking sucks. Some say he's not the sharpest tool, others say he's just a tool, but most agree he fucking sucks. He goddamn for sure fucking sucks. He goddamn for sure fucking sucks. No one likes this guy named Patrick. Super pathetic, dramatic, kinda believes in magic. Magic. Makes the most with the little that he has. Chasing aliens and UFOs. What's next? The moon is a hoax. Well, I kinda believe in that one myself. Anyway, back to the song. Makes the most with the little that he has. Like a paper bag, he won't last, but most agree. He fucking sucks. Some say he's sensational, others say he's delusional, but most agree he fucking sucks. Some say he's not the sharpest tool, others say he's just a tool, but most agree he fucking sucks. He goddamn for sure fucking sucks. I got a bombshell for you. Patrick sucks and that it sucks. I got a bombshell for you. Patrick sucks and that it sucks. I got a bombshell for you. Patrick sucks and that it sucks. I got a bombshell for you. Patrick sucks and that it sucks. I got a
Yowzas, yowzas, yowzas. All right, y'all. Welcome. Good morning for me. It is 7 a.m., 10 p.m. on the Pacific coast of the USA. We are going to do an amazing live stream. We got Red Panda Koala with us. I'll bring him up here in just a second. I see him in the background staring at me with that beautiful hat of his. And maybe a surprise guest. I'm gonna leave that the way it is. Let me know in the chat real quick. Is my mic good? How we doing? Is the mic good? The sound okay? As I got my mic down here. And yes, I'm wearing my smart glasses. These make me look smart. Okay, good. Yeah, I hope y'all like the song. Wrote the lyrics, did not do the music. That is all AI, although it took me about 100 different tries to get the one song that I liked. And yes, I'm just making fun of myself, which is the best way to do things. We're going to be talking about Jeffrey Epstein. This is going to be interesting for sure. And the UFO connections, and maybe, whatever else comes out. We're gonna break some rules today. Remember, I don't talk politics on the show, but I don't see how politics, doesn't sort of creep in on today's episode. So if you're not comfortable with that, I totally get it. Just don't watch. It is what it is. It's just kind of one of those things. But we're gonna try to minimize that. Let's have fun. This is a very sensitive subject, so we may be talking about some things that are pretty triggering. because there's some vile monsters out there, and that's just how it is. No, Android, not smart glasses like that. Not those kind of smart glasses. They make me look smart. They are Ray-Bans, but I need all the help I can get to look smart. You know? No, I literally cannot see anymore. I'm blind as a fucking bat. All right. Let's bring up Mr. Panda. See what we got here.
What is
What's
up,
Panda?
Patrick? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. You
Chat
sound
can hear
great.
with you. Sweet, thank you. Great to be here, bro. Long time coming. Finally got in my
Good.
streaming grind, and I'm like, all right, let's do it. Let's hit up all the homies.
You've never been on before, have you?
No, I don't think so.
We've
I wasn't
tried.
really doing like camera shit for a while, and then now I'm like, fuck it. And now with this all
Yeah.
popping, I'm like, let's do it.
All I do is camera shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Takes a while to get used to, right? To get comfortable and stuff.
Yeah, totally, man. No, I get it. Everyone do whatever they want. Absolutely. But yeah, this is a long time coming. Tried to have you on the show a few times before. I don't even know why. For other different topics or different things that have come up. So I'm really glad we got to make this happen. I'm glad you hit me up to do it. And let me just say, dude, you are absolutely crushing it on X
dude.
right now.
Dude, it's been crazy.
Holy cow. Yeah.
I've never
you're
had engagement
grinding.
like it ever, and it's like wild, bro.
Well, you deserve it, man. You grind like nobody's business. I just don't even know. I would love to just, there's so many people in this field that I would love to just like shadow for 24 hours. And
Right?
see,
Yeah.
maybe not that long. Just see how they work. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
I
you
have
too.
my
You grind
system,
hard
but
too, bro. I'm always wondering,
yeah.
how did you do it? But yeah,
Well,
no, there's
who knows? I don't know. We all have our own systems, right? But yeah, just seeing how people work and how they're able to do what they do, and you do such a great job, man.
yeah, I feel super activated right now too, because you know, I've been, for a while you couldn't really talk about this Epstein stuff on social media, even, right? And like,
Yeah,
it was always kind of tied in with like Pizzagate type stuff, and so now it just feels like a big weight's off the shoulders. And I've always thought there was kind of this UFO esoteric occult connection with it all, and I feel like it's
sure.
kind of showing with this latest batch and some of the people and characters involved, right, that are from UFO land and stuff like that, which is not surprising, you know.
Yeah, man. I agree. Yeah, it's interesting to be honest with you. Unfortunately, when the Epstein files dropped, I was dealing with some tough personal
Oh
stuff.
yes, dude. Condolences, by the way. I don't know if you talked about it on your channel, but
No,
you did
thank you,
post about
man.
it. So
Yeah, absolutely. I did. I posted after because I couldn't post during when it was going on. It was just too emotional and yeah, so all that's going down while I'm, trying to say my goodbyes to my 14-year-old best friend.
mm,
And yeah, so I'm kind of late to the party. Um, but we'll get on it. And when you said, hey, let's do a live show, I thought like that's perfect opportunity to just kind of go through some of this stuff.
catch
And
you
I
up on
know you're
what's been
kind
going
of,
down. Yeah.
yeah, man, you're kind of an expert on this, way more than me. I really don't know what is happening. I've seen a few things. Okay, I've seen, a few different connections and things, mostly from what you're posting, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And let me just also say for the crowd, I use a lot of your clips on my show, dude, and I try to give you as many shout outs as I
Thank
can,
you,
and I
bro.
link to you all the time. I don't know if that helps. It's not like you need my help on X.
No, I do appreciate it. Some people act like they don't, or like they'll do it and act like they don't. And some people, even like, some of the people, we don't have to name them, but like some of them are like trying to get me like deplatformed and stuff, and they still use all the clips that I be clipping and stuff. But I think
That's
it's a cool,
hilarious.
yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's cool, like because I mean, first time on, I guess maybe for your audience, Red Panda Koala. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I have 3 channels now. So I have my OG one, which I started, I think, in like 2019 or 2020, which is documentaries. I have a second one, which is an archive, which is all the stuff from like my documentaries and stuff, like footage that I had on my hard drive. I just threw it all up there, not monetized. It's kind of like a Eyes on Cinema type channel, just and I have it like all kind of organized really nicely in like different playlists. And then I have this new one that I'm doing where I'm trying to do like more frequent live streams. So I'll probably link those after. Maybe Veda will be the homie and throw those in the thing. So be sure to subscribe because you're almost at what 100K now. Are you there? Where are we at?
I'm
99?
almost there, man. Yeah, I'm creeping right up to it. I will say I kind of first of all, I linked your Twitter and your main YouTube
Yeah.
channel in the description. So please, for everyone watching, go, subscribe and follow. You'll see that right in the description for Red Panda here. But yeah, I tried. Then I don't know if I switched how I do my videos. I feel like I did a little bit. I started vetting, I would say, a little bit more, and I think some of my audience wasn't really ready for that. So subscriber growth has kind of lowered a little bit than what I was typically getting, like 5,000 a month. But it's the holidays. This kind of happened last year where it can slow down a little bit. So I'm hoping it picks up. And I
You're kind
took
of
a
like a
lot of
debunker
time
now,
off.
right?
I wouldn't say
No,
I'm a
it's a joke.
debunker,
That's a joke. I know, but it's just
but
the way this community
yeah,
views things. It's like if you're not with the team, you're like, yeah,
sure. Yeah, I don't like to label it anything.
yeah,
I'm me, that's it. And the show's called Vetted, so I feel like I'm just living up to the name. And there's plenty of other shows that lean into all of it, and that's fine. Everyone should just do whatever they
yeah,
want. There's room for every type of show, and my type of show is to just ask questions and maybe point out some red flags. And but I'm still very much excited about the topic and looking forward to it. But
yeah,
yeah, there's plenty of shows out there. We don't all have to be the same. And it's always funny when I get a comment like that. You should do it more like this guy. Why? That's what he
yeah,
does. That's like
yeah,
telling Michael Jackson, you should sing like Eddie Vedder. Wait, what? Why would
yeah.
he do that? Well, what is the point of that?
And there's so much BS here that like if you just go along with everything, especially if you have a big audience, like you're gonna be selling your audience like literally Scientology without even knowing it, or like signing them up for cults and stuff without even knowing it. It's like
Yeah,
or grifts, like
yeah.
real bad grifts, like yeah. So you got to be yeah,
Yeah, I mean, again, it's to each their own. I don't really, I personally, I don't really care what other content creators do. Everyone should just, again,
do their
do
own
whatever
thing.
they want. I stay in my lane. I do what I want. I'm a Texan, so I'm a very much,
Yeah,
I do me, you do you.
I think
I
that's
don't
why we
really
get along
care.
so well too, Patrick. Because I think we both like. There's two choices people could have, kind of like when they come into this game or whatever. It's like, are you gonna go with the flow, or are you just gonna like do whatever feels right to you? And like
Yeah,
the people who go with the flow aren't necessarily bad, by any means. There's a lot of really good people that go with the flow. But like if you don't go with the flow, like you start feeling it, like you'll get pushback, you'll get pressure, and some people like
yeah,
don't want to deal with that at all. And other people like me, you, Tupa, J Unity, like we're just kind of like we don't really care. Like we're gonna do whatever we want to do. You know what I mean? So it's cool.
100%. Look, I'm 46 years old, man, and I've learned along the road. And I had a
Good,
whole
bro.
career.
46. Good for
46,
you.
I know. Thanks.
Oh, you're in
Um,
30s.
but wow, okay, I'm gonna clip that. Show it to my wife.
Yeah.
No, I had a whole career before my online thing here. And something I learned is just you're gonna get hate no matter what. So you
Yeah.
might as well just be yourself. You know what I mean? And then there's no worrying about anything. There's no stress of trying to do this or trying to do that. You're gonna get hate no matter what. There are people, if you put up a video of puppies,
Yeah.
there would be some people hating in the comments. Like you can't win, literally. So just do you. And the one thing is no one can do you better than you. So be you, right? It's
Yeah.
like that's it. No one can be yourself better than you. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, that's always been my approach. And good or bad, it is what it is.
Yeah. And so to
So
to where we were going there with the channel growth, and I do see Tupa's in the comments. What up, Tupa? Um,
oh, is he?
yeah,
I didn't even read the
I did start
comments
posting
too.
on
Jeez.
X more too, because there's like so a lot of my stuff was historical, right? On my main channel, my first channel, and I love the history stuff. Like I love that's how I was into history before I was even into UFOs. Like I just love history nerd. And there's just so much happening now that like there's an ecosystem to it, and like being on X and stuff, like we're followed by congressmen now. There's like, and I do like to be able to like it's almost like I became a psyop in a way, you know what I mean? Because like you and others and like well like you do all your own stuff too, right? But I definitely feel like I'm
Yeah.
able to kind of like influence the conversation in a way that I couldn't when I was just doing strictly historical documentaries. Quick
Sure.
point being the hate group stuff, right? We don't have to go into it too much
Sure.
here, but like
That's all good.
when I'm throwing all
I
these
talk
clips
about
out there, yeah, and then I'm also talking about the hate group, it becomes more in the zeitgeist than like if I wasn't a person doing clips all the time, getting all this engagement, and then just because for a while it's kind of what it was. We were like shouting into the wind about this serious problem, this weird
Yeah.
occult problem in the community. So it's like I
Sure.
view it kind of like what is it, like Levi's in the gold rush? You know what I mean? It's like you could try and do everything else, or you could just be like make jeans for everyone. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I view it on X, and it's been really cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good comparison, man. Absolutely. And look, let me say too, man, like I personally, me personally, I don't really criticize anyone that doesn't call things out that I personally would call out or talk about things that I wouldn't talk about or any of those sorts of things. I always try to remember everyone's on their own journey.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what someone has to deal with. I don't know what's in someone's mind. I don't know
Yeah.
what someone's worries are or concerns or so I just do me. And that's
Yeah.
why I support what you and Tupa do for instance in that particular instance. Because you want to call it out and people trying to tell you shouldn't talk about, hey, they can talk about whatever they want. You
Yeah.
can talk about whatever you want, right? They're using their platform to do what they want. And if
Yeah.
people come, they come. If they don't, they don't. But they're doing what they want. What they feel is right. They're calling
Yeah.
out, right?
And for the audience, right? There's this like weird cult dynamic in the UFO game, and it doesn't just affect like content creators; it also affects like experiencers and whatnot too. And hey, what up, Tupa? And
What's up?
oh, you're a little loud though, bro.
My bad.
No, all good, all good.
Is it?
For me, I don't know, maybe, but good to see you, bro. And yeah, so me and Tupa like to call it out because, and the funny thing is, like, a lot of the time it's more real than like some of the stuff that people are like, oh, you shouldn't talk about that. You should just talk about, Tim Taylor working for the Archangel Michael or like Chris Bledsoe's like plane
Sure.
videos, and it's like that's kind of diluting the field, some of this stuff. Weren't you there when you said that like he straight up was telling the people a plane at contact in the desert, right? Like Chris Bledsoe did that, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's
I
just
was there.
like people are like, oh, don't talk about real people getting caught up in like cults and talk about that instead. It's funny to me. But yeah, what up to
No, I agree. Again, I think everyone should cover what they want. Just cover
Yeah.
what you want. That's the bottom line. If everyone's covering the same thing, what's the problem with someone else covering something else? And guess what? I come from a generation of you can just change the channel
Yeah, it's
if you
crazy
don't
that
like
people.
it. You just move
Yeah.
on if you don't like what someone's saying. I've never gone to a YouTube video and been like, I hate you and I hate your show and this sucks and I just never done that like in my life. I probably
Yeah.
commented on 15 YouTube videos in my entire life, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But let's introduce Tupa here. What up,
Oh,
Tupa?
by the way, I'm
Welcome
rocking
to
What's
this
up,
the show.
merch.
gentlemen?
This
Oh,
is Tupa
nice.
merch.
Hell
Tupa
yeah.
merch, baby. Let's go.
What's up, guys?
How we
What
doing?
up? Ready to get into some Epstein UFO stuff? I see the chat. I know that this can be a little bit of a boring call, but it's my first time on Vetted. We're having a little pleasantries. But let's get
Yeah,
into the
yeah.
Epstein stuff, dude. This is
That's a sentence I always want to hear at 7:21 in the morning. Let's get
Yeah.
into the Epstein stuff.
I mean, it's there, dude. I mean, Tupa, we've been calling it for years, right? That there's this overlap, and we're kind of being vindicated right now. We're on our little victory lap. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's like a bummer topic, but after being, like I was telling Patrick before, like we literally couldn't talk about this for a while, like on social media and stuff like that. So there is this kind of like victory lap element to it, even though it is a bummer topic. But
Yeah,
a lot of names came
they
up.
literally banned us for sure.
Yeah.
They would ban you, but also like in the UFO like circle, like I was even surprised at how many posts I made that connected the two things. You know what I mean? Back in 2023, even like it was pretty obvious that the direction of like the new age stuff was kind of going in the same area of this weird satanic, you know what I mean? It was just very obvious and troublesome, very
And then it's also
worrying.
the Silicon Valley tech bro,
Yeah.
esoteric Esalen Institute vibe,
Yes.
keeping into disclosure with things like Skywatcher. And lo and behold, I mean, that might be one of the data points you want to start with first was Alex Klokas, right? The funder for Skywatcher and the telepathy tapes is what people say in the back channels. He was all up in the files. And like you said, Patrick, it was 2015. It was years after everyone kind of knew, especially in those circles, that he had been convicted. And he wasn't just meeting with them. He was liaisoning other people to meet with them. So like that Brian Johnson guy who's all in trying to look young forever. Alex Klokas was like connecting them. So they were kind of close. It wasn't just, there's some names in there who it's like, okay, I could see like, it's just it's an anonymous tip to the FBI that went nowhere. But there's some names like Alex who are like, so I don't know. What did you guys think? And when you saw Alex Clokus, again, funder for Skywatcher, which came out last year in the files?
Yeah, what do you think, Tupa?
I wasn't that surprised at all. I personally wasn't. I did, however, find something today about this dude named Stephen Koslin, who's the director, at least he was, in 2013, at the Center for Advanced Study in the Behavioral Sciences of Stanford University, which is where Gary Nolan works. Now, there's no direct connection between Gary Nolan and this Koslin guy, but Koslin is describing the basal ganglia as this like center of intuition. And so there's this like weird kind of I mean, that's a very specific
Is that what
thing.
they're talking about in the email?
Yeah.
Oh, so they're literally talking about the basal. Like, I'm telling you, bro, next within one of these batches, I'm not trying to throw shade at Gary Nolan, but if you read Jacques Vallée's books, he's had multiple meetings with Thiel, probably being funded by Thiel. Thiel's all up in the Epstein files. He's on Skywatcher. Gary Nolan's an advisor for Skywatcher.
Very interested in this stuff. They want to know. They want to know where all this information's coming from. They think
they're all into like genetics and intuition and that kind of conversation. That's very interesting too. But I'm gonna rip that from you.
Yeah, check it out. Stephen Koslin. And how I found it is I looked up basal ganglia in the Epstein files.
And that came up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what is y'all's opinion on Skywatcher just as a whole? Like, it's been over. The prediction time has passed, right? The prophecy has come and gone, and we didn't get disclosure, as Jake Barber said.
He was going to summon an egg, right? For everyone to see, and that was supposed to have happened by the end of last year.
By the end of January. I mean, if I'm being technical, they released the interview January 20th of 2025, because I remember it was just before Trump got inaugurated, right? Which I think was the 21st, somewhere around there. But yeah, it was supposed to be a year. Now, granted, it's kind of like one of those things of, hey, I'm going to get this old beater in my garage fixed up in a year, and then it takes like 5. Is it one of those sort of scenario, right? Where maybe it was a little bit harder than they thought, but I would argue they've been silent for like 6 months. Like, they haven't said anything, updated anything.
It's like the opposite. People like Michael Batista, if you catch him in a space, he's like, I won't talk about Skywatcher at all. It's like this weird like NDA vibe about it. The people, even the experiencers, experiencers who went there and were invited by this group, they also have this NDA thing going on. So it's like a overt don't talk about it situation, which is very weird. Like you said, they're promising all this stuff.
It started sketchy and it's only gotten sketchier. That's my opinion. Like Jacob Barber's introduction on Ross Coldheart, it seemed so scripted. It seemed like Coldheart was drinking the Kool-Aid. It seemed like they were all of the mind that within days they were going to be seen as revolutionaries or something. That's a weird mindset to be in. To project that from the interviewer and the interviewee was strange. And Barber got really kind of bold, I think, with his interview with Jesse Michaels, with the talk about like children and these psychic powers and stuff. It's like, no, dude, this is not good.
Yeah,
this is the kind of stuff you see before, like on a cult documentary after the fact.
Yeah, I see Glitchy Code in there and a few others, and this is already a red flag, which just goes so well, unfortunately, with the Epstein stuff. Initially, that I know me and Tupat, I think you probably had too. This kind of like, first off, the introduction of like human trafficking into the UFO disclosure movement via Herrera, and then this weird kind of like whitewashing, retconning of Herrera's testimony from Barber of like, okay, yeah, there are psionic assets from third world countries, but they actually love it here, and they make more money here, and it's just like, we're a long way from 2017. What are these Navy videos, right? Now it's like there's human trafficking and left-handed gay kids are more psychic, and this is on News Nation, and this is like the mainstream disclosure movement now. Like
stress inoculation,
yes,
traumatized kids, things not faring out for the children involved. I mean, yeah. What about those videos? That was well put, man. Like, what about what got us in the door? We don't have any answers for that, and we're going to go right over to what sounds a lot like the 1990s satanic panic stuff.
It's literally the same language, as you pointed out. Jake Barber said, and Ross Coulter's kind of alluded to it too, that they know where like kids are being tortured to enhance their psionic ability because stress inoculation and trauma induces more, which kind of I've seen a theme too, and just experiencers and stuff. It seems like UFOs appear around traumatic experiences, so it makes sense that people somewhere would be trying to induce that. But also, it's also kind of like a whitewashing, like you said on the Jesse Michaels interview. So, point being, when that whole thing, when the people telling us left-handed gay kids are more psychic, when the people telling us that it's okay to stress inoculate, and they said children that they did it in their thing. He's like, you could there's ways to become more psychic, and he said some of these have infrared for children. So it's like, how do you know that? The people telling us human trafficking isn't like is chill. I was not surprised to see that like that organization's major funder was again not just in the Epstein files, but actively talking to him, actively connecting him with a bunch of people. Yeah, it just wasn't surprising at all. I bet you if Epstein wasn't stitched up, what do you think, Patrick? If Epstein hadn't been caught doing everything he was doing, and he was still just kind of like, because he was really into science and stuff like that, I think he would have totally been at that SLN meeting with the psychic kids and they summoning the orbs. That was totally his scene, totally his network. And I think me and Tuba picked up on that early on, and that's why it's like, yeah, we're not really surprised that these names are coming up in the files here.
That's interesting. I think, Epstein funded some conferences that dealt with telepathy and consciousness, right? With some of these people that,
And anti-gravity.
unfortunately, yeah, lots of different subjects, right? So,
And even in the files, Patrick, I don't know if you know this, they're somebody's floating to him having one of those conferences at Esalen, the same place.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, that's totally possible, man. I mean, 100%. It wouldn't. This guy seemed to be everywhere all at once, right?
I mean, Cloakus was still friends with him after 2015, 2016. That he was basically the organizer of all that event, I'd imagine. So I think he
Sure.
totally would have been there,
Well, something I've learned of dealing with very wealthy people is that they're they're definitely willing to turn a blind eye to a lot of things for money and power and connections and networking. It happens a lot. And for us regular people, it's like, that's disgusting. Why would you do that? Right. So I don't know, but just to get back real quick to the barber thing and Skywatcher and the secret base that's in Mexico, by the way, allegedly, where these families, refugees, kids, women, men, all kinds of people are kidnapped from their homes, taken against their will, and hooked up to machines, drugged, and asked to telepathically communicate with aliens and UFOs and bring them down. And then, well, they'll die sometimes, and that just comes with it. Sometimes one day after being hooked up to a machine, and it's like, wait a second, why are we not talking? Why is that not a huge red flag? I blew that up on my channel when it immediately happened. Initially, when Herrera said those things on Gaia, and I was sharing those clips, and I remember getting into a back and forth with Joey Is Not My Name, who was initially covering Herrera, and he didn't want to talk about that. He only wanted to talk about Herrera's Indonesia incident, and I was like, no, dude, this all goes together. I mean, how can Herrera say these things are happening and then, it's not a big deal? Like, what are we talking about?
Exactly.
Right? And then Barber comes out on Jesse Michaels' interview and is like, tries to, explain that away, like it's okay, like they like it, they get a better life than where they're at, right? It's like, what are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. You're taking people against their will, you're drugging them up and they die, and you tell me this is better than what they had before? I don't know about you, but I'd rather be living under a coconut tree, you know what I mean, in the jungle, than getting drugged up and being killed. Now, I'm also going to be real here. I think that's all bullshit. I don't think any of that's happening. Right. So I would be more outraged if I thought it was actually, I don't think it's happening. And then you have to ask the question, why make that up?
Exactly. Like,
it's a loyalty test. It's a loyalty test. So like, and this is my opinion, but when their back's against the wall, they have to push these extremes because they have to figure out who's really loyal to them. They're going to, they could abandon ship and then start somewhere else or start on a new thing, and they're going to need diehard supporters that are going to buy whatever they're selling. And when you say something like that, that should trigger all these red flags, but you have people who are still willing to be like, no, I want to be part of this. I want to, yeah, I'm down. Then they're going to
I'll still,
forego. So
that's a
now
good point.
you've condensed your base. You know, the people who are like showing up still are the people who are going to agree to that, and it's not hitting their sensors. But that's, again, just a theory.
No, that's interesting. I agree that the whole thing around Skywatcher is super shady. And what's interesting is Skywatcher is, I wouldn't say a big part of my documentary coming up, but it's talked about. We mention it. We discuss it. We
Oh.
extra noise outside. And
do you hang out with any of them for your documentary, the Skywatcher people? Because you're kind of documentary is kind of about the idea of psionically summoning UFOs, right?
Yeah, I tried. Jake Barber had reached out to me. I honestly can't really remember how that all came together off the top of my head. But I think it was, I really just can't remember, but it was even before I started filming, actually. It was about, he invited me potentially, right? He's like, I want to invite you, but I got to get it approved by the board to come out to Skywatcher's facilities, and we'll test you on all the different things that we do for these psionic assets, and, you know, see where you're at and this and that, and kind of show you around and blah, blah, blah. And that my stipulation was I had to be able to film, right? Like I'm not going unless I can film for this documentary. Like, what's the point? Yeah, I'm not going in to, you know what I mean, buy into this thing. I'm going in separate, right? I can't be swayed over like that, which is probably why a lot of people hate me, that I can't be like bought in or, you know what I mean, swayed in that way. So, but I was trying to go check it out. Okay, look, I'll have an open mind. Let's see what's going on. I'm super skeptical about this. I even, in my opinion, exposed the egg video. But regardless, I was willing to go, and then never heard back. He told me he was going to contact in the desert. Didn't show up, right? I texted him at the event. Weird. Hey, I thought you were coming. He's like, you know, whatever, didn't show up. We talked on the phone one time. It's possible we talked twice, but I honestly can't remember. We talked on the phone one time for a couple hours, and he was a nice guy in the sense that, you know, like talking to your neighbor at a Friday night barbecue, you know, neighborhood barbecue, right, where it's kind of sports and fam, you know. But there was also a moment where I thought he was absolutely trying to loyalty test me, right?
What happened?
When someone starts to go into like, well, this is the difference between secrets and privacy and this, I just thought, okay, dude, look, I'm not who you think I am, bro. I am not. I'm just not going to buy into this bullshit, right? Like, and I think even with Herrera during that whole time, a year before that, they were trying that with me as well, kind of behind the scenes before Jake Barber came out, right? And
well, you're a huge voice. I'd imagine it's happened to you a lot, right? Everyone's trying to get your.
Back then I wasn't.
Yeah.
Back then I wasn't. Now I'm definitely bigger, and it's. The bigger you get, this is what AJ from the Y-Files told me, just get bigger. Yeah. Because the bigger you get, the harder it is for them to take you down and sort of influence you in this way. And they're looking for people that are smaller, more influenced, a little, I wouldn't say gullible, but, you know, we're all just different people.
Like the person who just called you out, right? I'm not trying to talk shit or anything, but you did a video about Dan, right? I feel like that's like the perfect person that they're kind of going after. And they're not even a bad person, right? They're just enthusiastic about the topic, wants the insider info. You know what I mean? Yeah, and that can easily get manipulated into like weird stuff where now they're like calling you out, and it's weird.
Yeah, they're just trying to get you on board onto their program or system or their way of thinking, and I just wasn't falling for it, which is probably why, you know, it didn't happen. And I mean, it even went so far as you know, Jake Barber introducing me to the CEO of Skywatcher, who is not a name that anybody knows.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, I'm not going to call it out because I don't think that's fair to this person, but I know who it is. Um, and my director of the documentary and I emailed him, right, to go out to Skywatcher to film, right? So,
Yeah.
and then they sent back this email of like, you got to answer all these questions. I mean, it was like 50 questions of like, what are you going to do when you come? But like very detailed, very this.
Interesting.
And at first I was very like, whoa, what the fuck? This is crazy. Like, how, this is what. But then when I talked to Glenn, I will be honest, when I talked to Glenn, Glenn is from the industry, from documentaries, movies, he worked with Netflix, BBC for years. He's from the UK. He was like, to be honest, this is pretty typical. Like this can happen when you're trying to deal with a company or this or that. They have concerns about protecting their brand, so they want to know certain things before you go film with them, right? So he answered all the questions and sent it back, and it took a couple weeks, and they just responded like, "We're not filming at this time." And that's really at the point where they begin to go silent for everyone, not just us. So you remember how they just dropped
Yeah.
off, and then you just started to hear all the quote psionic assets were leaving.
Yeah.
Right? They were just leaving left and right. I talked to different people during the filming of my documentary who were supposed to join Skywatcher, and that it all fell through. And then when I was filming, Carl Crusher, someone who I filmed with, dropped that bombshell with me out in the Utah desert with Gino from Wild Files that Skywatcher had landed a craft and that they had it on film, right? And NASA was there, right? I still don't know what's going on with that.
Do you believe that?
No.
Right?
No,
Yeah.
of course I don't
So
believe
why
that.
lie? But that is interesting what you said, because I didn't know that list. Again, so even if it's an industry norm, it goes to show that they're an industry like thing, right? Like it's not like
it's a business, dude.
if you were to come visit me, I wouldn't send you you know what I mean, like that. So it goes to show like they're plugged in on some other stuff, and then also Jake Barber like being at the Grammys and with CeeLo Green and stuff like that. There's something going on there, bro. Something going on there.
I don't know. It's possible, but I will say, I mean, they're a business. Straight up, they're a business, and they have big investors with a lot of money, and they're protecting their brand. So you take that however you want, sort of thing, right? Like, is that good or bad? I don't know. But at the same time, how can you be this big business, this big brand, and then also, again, talk about child trafficking and human trafficking and just be like, but they like it. What are we talking about? I mean, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
This is kind of insane. So I don't know where Skywatcher's at.
Well, at the time when it was happening,
real quick, I did get to interview Mike Batista.
Oh, cool.
For the documentary. It was the only Skywatcher quote interview I could get. And then, of course, my only question about Skywatcher was, immediately shut down. Not my only question. I wanted to talk about Skywatcher. And he had told me before the interview started, hey, I can't talk about Skywatcher. I said, well, dude, it's kind of the reason I'm having you on, Skywatcher. Like, I know you want to promote what you're doing, but like, the reason anyone knows about you is because of Skywatcher, right? And the reason they want to talk to you is because of Skywatcher. So it would be weird that I said, I have to ask you about Skywatcher. You can say whatever you want in the interview, but I'm going to ask you about it. And I did. And he said, I can't talk about it. I got an NDA. And I was a little disappointed, but I mean, if he did legally sign an NDA, I get it. You're not going to want to break the NDA, right? So I mean, Mike seemed like a nice guy to me. It was interesting that he also got connected to Skywatcher at that same event that Jake Barber went to try to turn people in for the FBI with Mike Herrera. That's where Mike Batista went too, and I asked him about that, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't see Jake there or Mike there. I don't know." I'm just like,
was he just there as a fan, or was he there on some?
That's what he said. There as a fan. It's like, wait a second, y'all all just met there, didn't know each other, didn't see. This doesn't seem right. Like something's.
I wish I could know what really happened. Something's up there.
Something's off.
Well, they were like probably linked. You know what I mean? There's a lot of these people in the back channels who want to link these people up. who want to make sure that that they meet up, who you know what I mean. There's these degrees of separation, so there's no like direct email or text links and stuff. You know, it's weird. But yeah, Michael
Yeah.
seems like he seems like a nice enough guy, but these
He
claims
was.
they're crazy. They're not
Yeah.
crazy, like, you're not crazy for making the claims, but they're so out there.
To
They
say we're gonna land an
demand
egg by the end of the year, like,
Yeah.
why even say that? It's almost like you're shooting yourself in the foot from the get. Like, no one even asked you for
Absolutely.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was too much, and clearly that's not going to happen. Clearly, they're not bringing disclosure. I don't know what's going to happen with all of that, and it is what it is, you know, as far as that goes. I don't know. I think Skywatcher, I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever come out with another video. They could just slowly fade away.
I feel
Just
like that
slowly
might be what
fade away, and
happens.
nobody says anything, and that's it. It just kind of moves on, right?
What will be
Nobody.
the story? Like, that they sold their technology to the government and it went
Well,
underground?
isn't
Like,
that the story now that
Sure.
they got too close to the truth and the government came and shut them down, or
I hate that.
that one guy with the
I
dog
know.
whistle was too good? You know?
Fowler. He
Yeah.
left to go work with the government with contracts, and he left. And look, what I heard is it was just like this split in Skywatch, like this two different, you know, mentalities. One is using the dog whistle, right? Actual physical earthly technology that you and I, all of us know about. Um, and the mental side, the psionic side, right? And that they were clashing on Skywatcher.
Hmm.
That wasn't where you had, you know, like, why are we using this machine? You know, that's the assets. Why are we using this machine when I can just do it from here, Bob? You know, and vice versa. The people working the machine, you know, who are these nuts over here trying to use their mind? We got this machine, you know, and it just wasn't gelling. And if Skywatcher was such a great company and this and that, why would Fowler leave and go do another thing, right? For
Yeah.
drones. You're telling me you're working with aliens and UFOs and going to detect drones is better? That doesn't make sense to me, right? Which leads me to believe Skywatcher was never about aliens, UFOs, any of that shit. It's
Yeah.
always been about drones and other things
Well,
that
it
have
honestly
nothing to
always
do
felt
with it.
like, even from the beginning, and I was saying like this time last year, like it feels like a whitewashing of this whole human trafficking thing, which I think kind of ties back to the main topic here, the Epstein stuff of like that's kind of what it
Absolutely.
feels like is like big money wants to like whitewash some of this weird psychic trafficking stuff going on. Because remember, even in some of the Epstein files, right? There were some files where they're talking about um Epstein was emailed multiple times by this guy called. Do you remember that guy's name, Tupa? The Hong Kong professor guy, Gino Yu. There we go.
Yeah.
And that was the one where if you saw it, it was like they're talking about basically the same shit that Skywatcher is, stress-induced trauma, although he added the
Yeah.
caveat of sexual, and that this girl that they found was starting to develop special abilities because of her trauma. Right? It's like all the
Yeah.
language is like very similar. Cloakus is there. It really feels like from the get, and we were saying this too, but were we not like this just feels like they're I think we could go find spaces, but I'm gonna have to go find it because we were literally saying like this is just them whitewashing Epstein type stuff like this time last year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was so alarming and jarring that like I think I made a song about it. You know what I mean? Like it was just so like what did you just say? And why is no one calling this out? Why are we pretending like this is the new chapter of ufology? Like it's not. This is the
Yeah.
new
agree.
chapter of like prison. Like someone's going to jail for this.
It was a lot for a lot of
I
people. I know a
zero.
lot of people
Yeah.
left, you know, because we like the spaces group. We're kind of on the day to day. There's a lot of really good, interesting things you can learn. I know a lot of people were just kind of jarred with it because it was such like a pivot. Again, like I said, it's like we're going. What did we have before that? The Grush hearing, right? We're talking about programs and bodies, and you know, even the Lou hearing, right? With Gallaudet, we're talking videos, the
Yeah.
Lockheed stuff, and then it's just human trafficking,
I mean, maybe
gay
worse than a
psychic
pivot.
kids. You know what I mean? Like,
Maybe
yeah.
worse than a pivot. Maybe a couple steps backwards. I mean, that's like pseudoscience, you know, and it's science based on, from all I can tell from my research, it's based on occult practices. You know,
Yeah.
this is like the story of the oracles. You know what I mean? Like this goes back so far. The idea of isolating people and making them develop these powers, and you know what I mean, finding people in the right bloodlines, and it's all, you know, this is esoteric stuff. And so yeah, it's a step backwards from where we were. Like you said, these hearings. congressional like people talking about this stuff. We were finding out about patents or where this stuff could go. People were talking to all kinds of people, and now it centers right back to some pseudoscience, metaphysics. You know what I mean? And then kind of an embarrassing topic too. I mean, not embarrassing, but a black eye for sure. To bring this up in the last like 2 years is weird.
Again, I think it's even weirder in the sense that I don't believe the stuff that Michael Herrera, which he clearly got from Jake Barber, right, and Stephen Greer. I don't think any of that's true. I don't think there's a facility in Mexico that's housing all these refugees that got human trafficked in
Yeah.
UFOs. Okay, I don't think Michael Herrera saw a UFO in the jungle that was being, human trafficking people. I just all of it's bullshit to me. But the bigger question for me is why? Why make something like that up? Again, I think you may be right too, but it's a loyalty test. But then I would also have to ask, why even bring it up publicly?
Yeah, it's
Why
just a
even
hard
bring
thing
that
to
out?
bring up. People are gonna have an adverse reaction to it. That's why I'm like, I don't know if
Absolutely.
I agree with. Part of me's
Well,
like, yeah, I don't know. I don't
that
know.
desperation's a stinky cologne. You know what I mean? So when people get desperate, they start to do things that they
Yeah,
normally would not do. In my
sure.
opinion, the disclosure rollout from the Podesta emails onward was a rushed job. In order not to, I don't want to say cover something up, but to quickly rebrand a couple things and to or to brand, yeah, a couple things to throw some stuff underneath the blanket. The blanket appears to be ufology, right? The attraction appears to be metaphysics, new age, pseudoscience, right? And then that's like the bridge that gets people sucked into this world. Look at Deepak Chakra, right? Or Chopra or whatever, right? Like in Epstein, look at their emails together.
Oh my
It's
God.
very much that vibe.
Yeah,
And when I'm reading these emails with Stephen Koslin from Stanford University about the basal ganglia and these things, it's the same vibe. It's like, oh,
yeah.
this is so interesting, Jeff. These are so crazy. You just give me $250,000, and yeah, we
Yeah.
should look into this.
Let me come to
Uh,
the island for the weekend. It's
yes,
like
very weird, very
I
weird
see.
stuff. But yeah,
Let me ask y'all this real quick, like just as a baseline for people that are watching, listening. You know, do y'all do y'all think that there's an actual cover up from the government of a real alien bodies and real craft, and some of this stuff is just sort of used to, fog up the window, right? So we can't really see what's going on, or do you think that's created to cover up even something else? I don't know. Like, do y'all actually think that the US government has recovered alien craft
Go
or
for it, Tupa.
bodies?
Yeah, I think they got craft in what we would call bodies. I just think that there's something very different than what they're saying. They're allowing the culture to project this idea of aliens from another planet that are physical, that do these things and want these things, and maybe they're coming after some kind of resource, right? Whether it be water or humans or gold, right? If you go back into ancient aliens and stuff. But I think that's the red herring. The visitations, I think, are real. Something is happening here. Humans have a relationship with something other than just the earth beneath us. There's something going on above us, and it can't just start and end with God. There has to be other things there. And
Yeah.
if you just look at the human history, there always have been other things there. People were talking to things. What those things are, I'm not sure, but it does seem like the government is utilizing the UFO myth as a way to cover up some real deep truth that might be more surprising than we expect.
Yeah.
I'm more
That's well
classical. I
said.
think it's I think there is. I think a lot of this stuff like Roswell happened and like all like the old school ufology tropes, I'm pretty much with. I think there's a cover up. They probably got bodies somewhere. They probably look like gray aliens. But I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on too, because I do think a lot of this stuff is like just straight up like demons. Like, you know what I mean? Like from the Bible type stuff. So I don't know.
Hell yeah.
It's
Or
really
stuff from
weird.
the
Yeah, it's
past, like archaeological finds that they're just not letting
sure.
us, in on and stuff.
I think that sounds very believable, to be honest with you. I personally am not convinced that the government has recovered craft or bodies for everything I've seen or looked at.
Hmm.
I think a lot
What
of
made
people
you?
talk
What
about it.
influenced that the most for you? Would you say?
Well, all the bullshit I've seen in this community, right,
You
just makes me think, oh my God, like,
don't think there's
wait,
a
if I,
giant UFO somewhere buried, bro, that we could go get our shovels and go holes mode and dig?
no, no, I don't personally. And I came in, doe-eyed, bushy
Right.
tail, as they say, into this because oh shit, could this be real? Oh my God. And
Yeah.
then the more I started interacting with people and seeing things, and I just thought, wait, oh no, man, I thought this could be real. Like it kind of pissed me off. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's not. I'm, I don't know, and I question why it's so murky. All the information is so murky, and part of the reason why I wanted to do my documentary, like, fuck all this intelligence agency government
Mhm.
disclose, like there's no way to know what the hell's going on. These people are so shady, man.
Yeah.
I can't really trust anything they're saying. They're all approved of what they're allowed to say, and you can see the sycophant cult like followings that they build up, and for people wanting to protect them. Um, and I just, yeah, I'm kind of with Toop on the sense that things have been happening for a long time, right? Across cultures, timelines, classes, ethnicities, races. Like it broke all of those for I would say thousands, millennia of year, right? Like people have been seeing things, interacting with things. So I think there is a phenomena. I just don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I don't. Is it extraterrestrial? Is it even interdimensional? Is it something we've never thought of? Right? There's no name to it. We can't even figure it. It's not demon. It's not in the Bible. It's not. Is it something else? I don't know. It could be any and all of these things. I don't know. But what I do know, me personally, or at least what I wouldn't say I know, but what I believe is possible is that I don't trust this government disclosure push from all these people and all these intelligence assets and or former and current and your Lou
Yeah.
Elizondos, and it's just
And we've
bullshit to
seen the
me.
shady stuff, right? They're like, there's a view, and it's valid, of people like, I just don't trust anything from the government. And even for a while, I was with it. I was like, oh, this is a thing. But me, you, too, but we've seen the shadiness. We've seen how the sausage gets made, and we've seen a lot of these people are not good people, and actually not even not good people. They're
Absolutely.
like bad people, like kind of bad people I've never really encountered on some,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like in my day to day
A-
ever.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I mean, we're, good and bad is a great thing, right? And you kind of like, we all make mistakes in life,
Yeah.
and we're all kind of, we've all been caught speeding, or maybe we pushed
Yeah.
through, we rolled through a red stop sign a few times, or whatever. Maybe we cheated on our girlfriends or boyfriends, or I
Yeah.
don't know, just something stupid you've done, little things that done, but we're talking about things that are like unfathomable to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like, whoa, what the fuck? What is going
Yeah.
on?
Dude, it's crazy.
We're not
Like,
Yeah.
just blurring normal lines here of like, well, maybe I'll just skip
Like,
this stop sign.
yeah,
This is like,
bro.
oh, you had to go out of your way to
like
do
what happened to us recently,
harm here.
Tupa? Like the whole ass dossiers made about me and Tupa's families and like where they live, sent to like
Dude.
suicidal
insane.
people. Like it's just like
Insane,
Yeah,
dude.
it's pretty
it's next
bad.
level
Insane.
craziness going on around these parts, bro.
Dude,
And
I
that's
feel
the
I
cherry on
literally lose
top.
sleep if I talk bad to somebody one day.
Sure.
If I
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Even if my wife and I get in a little like, I answered her kind of rough or something, and we're both Latin, and if you know the Spanish culture, that happens a lot. People are very direct here, and they just talk and then move on. Like they don't
Yeah.
even think, like you yell at each other and then like, yeah, okay, yeah. I don't. I like will lose sleep, or I'll be thinking about it, and I'll call, hey, listen, I'm really sorry I answered you
Yeah,
that way. That was really rude of me. And then you got people just like, trafficking children on islands. I'm like, what the fuck? How do you jump to like I just don't even, I guess I just don't even know how people can do some of these things, like, and go to sleep at night. Like, I
Yeah.
just don't even,
Like
it's
mass DM a bunch of people a bunch of lies about somebody in hopes
that
that it
too.
prevents them from getting on a podcast, or it prevents them from getting
Absolutely
a certain guest. It's like,
insane.
what was going on in your mind? What would motivate you to go out
Or
of your
char-
way?
I agree.
Charge
I
people
agree.
to show a fake photo kind
Oh,
of thing
man.
too. It's like that we all know he knows is fake. You know what I mean? And it's like I could never
Yeah.
do that with a straight face, but these people do it all the
No.
fucking time.
No.
All
It
the
Well, you
is-
time
have
they're
to
putting
think
up
too,
fake photos.
people,
Ross Coulter too, even he's a nice guy, but he's constantly putting up shit that's just like so clearly fake, bro. So,
I think that's why it makes me think that, you know, I think some of these people do this for another reason. Like, if, because either Lou Elizondo is just the dumbest person alive which I don't really believe that. I don't think he's a dumb guy, right? I think he's very smart, actually. So then you have to wonder, how are you making such dumb mistakes publicly over and over again? Something's not adding up here, right? So it makes you think, if you really wanted, if someone came to you and said, hey, the fate of humanity, or the nation needs you, right? Lou Elizondo, the nation needs you. We need you to do X, Y. It's for national security. No one will ever know what you did, right? It's like CIA assets who just get like a star on a wall and no one ever knows what they potentially did. Because I do think there's good people inside of a lot of these agencies. I don't think everyone's a bad person. I think a lot of it's leadership, if I'm being honest with you, right? Those are the shady people. But regardless, if I told you, to protect national security, to protect Americans, right? And so you believe it's this bigger cause, you're willing to do anything. Even show these things, look stupid, do these things, do things that you go, why would you do that? And I think some of these people, which I think we've talked about before, that do your mic disclosures and all these fucking people. I think they're activated and think they're doing something for a bigger cause, and it's sort of that chip that's in your brain that tells you this is wrong. It bypasses that chip for you, and you're able to go, oh no, doing this for a good reason, actually. So
a lot of them literally think that giant ship's coming, by the way, right? Like, that's huge. A lot of the most radical people are their experiencers on themselves, and they're all bought in on the fucking something's coming in 2030 to come kill us all. So I think for a lot of people that motivates them. I know, I guess in Valet's book, he talked about how they were talking about that even before the 2017 thing that's going in these circles. Lou talks about it, whether they believe it or not. Like,
Panda, didn't you find a book written by one of these like sycophants of Lou's that was like those who change the world or something? And it's like literally bragging about how they're changing the world through controlling the narrative of UAP disclosure. That's wild. To write a book, to put that on Amazon, to
in the middle of it too, before it's even done. Wait, and these people are like, these are like the Generation 1 Mike disclosures who wrote the book. Like, these were not good people. These were some of the first people activated. And it's funny
prologue. Who wrote the prologue of that?
What's his name? Sean Cahill, who he's also in MIA. I want to hear what happened to him, dude. Some of these people. Do you even know who Sean Cahill is, Patrick? He was kind of out of the mix before. He was a Nimitz witness. He used to be like really big in the scene and stuff like that, but he's kind of taking the back seat. It's interesting to see like who he comes and goes, and
I made a video about him, a speech he gave where he allegedly tackled an alien out the second story window of his house.
What?
Yeah,
I'll make that with AI right now. That sounds hilarious. I've never heard this.
Yeah, he allegedly tackled an alien in his house. They flew out a window. Right. I mean, I hate it when that happens. More details to that.
Again, like, I could never get on a stage and say that shit. Even if it happened, it'd be like, I don't know if I want to say it. I doubt that happened. And then to just be straight face saying that, was it on Guy or you said it was at a conference to pay people who paid to see you? They must get off on it. I think just trolling people. Some of these people, honestly, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. They're not stupid people.
I think they do it. It's like Chris Bledsoe. Like, I personally think Chris Bledsoe, and this is just allegedly, in my opinion, for legal sake here, I think, he's been used by a lot of people, but I also think I don't think he has any special powers. I don't think he connects with orbs or this or that, or does any of the stuff that he claims, in my opinion. I don't think he's ever even had an actual experience that he built off of, in my opinion. But I think he does it because in his mind, he's helping people, right? People can tell him stories and go, thanks to your book and your stories, I've done this and that. So, and do you see what I'm saying? They start to, like, in their mind go, well, I'm helping people. My lies are helping people.
Yeah. And that's intoxicating too, to have people being like, I love you. Thank you so much. If you go to conferences, he's like a Beatle, bro. Everyone, oh my God, Chris. I haven't even seen him at a conference. I've just heard people say, what was it like? Tell us about it. Him at the conferences. Yeah. Doesn't people just come up and like wipe his ass, don't they?
Yeah. I mean,
not literally,
but, like figuratively, yes, absolutely. And I could see it at that Skywatching event too. You you get that sensation. I don't know if y'all ever went to church or did anything like that
For sure.
growing up, but like you get that sensation of, you know, when you're at a church, especially like I grew up in the South in Texas, like Southern Baptist, and there's this very energetic fellowship that you can get caught up in. Okay, the energy's there. It's like being at a concert, right? Where you just feel the band's playing the song, like, oh my God, pour some sugar on me. Let's go. I'm old, guys, so I'm naming old songs, but you know what I'm saying? It's like
Your
you
shirt
just
comes
get
off.
caught up in the moment. Yeah, your shirt comes off. You wouldn't do that normally, right? And
No,
your
there's a
coworker friend's
religiosity
like,
to a lot of
what
this
the
stuff,
hell are
man.
you doing? Yeah, there's just this. Well, it's human. It's not even religion. It's
Yeah.
just a human
It
nature.
happens with
to
sporting
be-
events. It happens with
Exactly.
But there's
Happens
a
with
lot of
sport. It
people
happens
who-
on Christmas morning with your family
Yeah.
when you see and you know, it can happen over anything. And I think there's just a lot of that. And so yeah, people who wouldn't like that, right? For a bit of time, like, oh, people love me. They think I'm this person, and you know, so you just start adding to the lore. And again, you justify it in your head because you say, I'm helping people. But what you don't realize is that you're helping people with lies. They're building their foundation over lies. Now, I think the bigger discussion is there. Does that matter? Does it matter that someone builds their foundation of hope in life on lies, right? I would just say, I guess it's a choice everyone needs to make on their own, but you can have hope and peace in life without lies, right? There's no need to be deceptive. Chris Bledsoe could easily take another route and still help people. Whereas, you know, I don't know. It's just interesting.
Yeah. It's crazy. There's a lot. I mean, but it also
don't
makes
know.
sense, right? The UFO cults are like the UFO community is one of the most cult prone community going back decades in America, going to the 50s through the 60s, 70s, 80s,
Yep.
90s. So like people could really get lost in the sauce with this stuff. You know, you got to stay
Yeah.
grounded.
Which
But
is
you're right,
sad.
Patrick. Like people start selling lies in order to like push a truth that they think,
Correct.
and it's like, okay, you've already gone off the rails. Like you can't. This is now,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? You got to abandon ship. All right, stop what you're doing, because
Yeah.
you can't do that. You can't like, oh, I'm all for truth. I just got to tell a couple lies, and then we'll get right to the
Exactly.
truth. The lies will never
Exactly, dude.
stop. You'll have to keep telling them.
Yeah.
And
You
it's like,
forget which is a lie and which is the truth
Yep.
anymore, right? Like it all just gets wish-washed away. And the longer you do it, the more, you know, emboldened you feel.
Yep.
And again, you lose sight of where the starting line is. Like you don't even remember where you started. You don't know what's left or right or up or down anymore. And at that point, so many people have lifted you so far up over the ground that you lose your footing,
Yep.
right?
And all of a sudden you're showing an irrigation circle photo to Congress, and you're like,
Yeah.
this is real. I talked to the pilots. All right.
I talked to the pilot. It's like, bro, have that pilot come forward. So let me get this straight. You took a screenshot off Google Maps and showed that. How did you see this in the air again? You took this photo in the air?
And,
yeah, right.
And the illusion is like, it's entirely dependent on the perspective. And in an airplane, a pilot would have been like, is that a UFO? And in 2 seconds, the illusion would have been broken, right? Because it didn't parallax the right way. And it would be like, oh, okay. He wouldn't have then gone over to Lou and been like, take a look at this. You know, he would have realized it immediately.
He would have looked all 360 and seen there's a bazillion of these irrigation circles, right? Like, of course it doesn't add up, right?
So
These things
goofy.
aren't thought through, essentially.
It did look improvised. Like he was like, you know, who pulls out a printed photo anyway, right? That's such a weird thing. It wasn't on like a poster board. It was like out of a manila folder, you know, like.
There's no way I believe that he was, it's hard to tell. I just don't believe anything he says. So trying to figure out what's true about it, what's not, I can't trust anything out of there. And again, you know, me saying that and y'all saying that kind of stuff as well is the reason we've been attacked by certain people. Y'all more than me, to be honest with you. Y'all have taken the brunt of it way more than me because y'all have been way more vocal than me. And I don't say it as much on X. On YouTube, I say all kinds of things. And they try to come after me, but I can easily get rid of people on YouTube very easily. Like it's a much different platform. X is like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like it's easier for people to attack and go after people
Yeah, because they can create
do
a
those
sock
things.
puppet accounts very quickly, and they can be in
Yeah,
and out,
absolutely.
and suddenly you know what I mean. They do. There's a lot of these little tricks in there, for
Yeah.
sure. But like,
Yeah.
you know, provoking this stuff was one way to feel out exactly what it was, right? And figuring out like, okay, this is odd, and then being able to make predictions was one of that's when it turned a corner, when it went from like criticizing and observing and like being genuinely like shocked at what we were seeing to being like, oh, you know, it looks like they're doing it again to this person. Well, let's see if they do this, this, and this. Oh, they did, you know, and then it just kept going again and again. And that's where it was like, you know, yeah, it does take a lot of tenacity, I think, to kind of stay on these guys, but it like staying on them has yielded the most like I think viable proof that it's an actual operation. So
I
it's
mean,
like,
Mike Disclosure's gone now,
Yeah.
right? He's taken the fall. I've seen a lot of these guys turn on him. He became the patsy. I mean, did we not call all this a long time ago?
Yep.
I said a long time ago to y'all, like a long time ago, they will eat themselves.
Oh yeah,
They
for
will
sure.
turn on each other and they will eat themselves because this is what rats do. And that's exactly what happened. And Mike Disclosure became the fall guy, essentially, right? Even Fessler threw him under the bus immediately on a show. After all this time, you know, Mike Disclosure is seething behind the scenes, even though he was probably told, just bite your tongue. You're doing this for the cause. We just need you to
We'll bring you
lay
back in a few
little
months.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll bring you back in a few months. And then he's hearing everyone say this shit about him, like, okay, so this is for the cause. But you know, his ego,
Yeah.
and he's a rat. He can't let it go. He's going to turn on them.
I know, that's what I'm hoping
it's
for.
all falling
yeah,
apart.
he's gonna go.
It's all
Whistleblower.
falling apart.
Yeah,
For
and it
them.
seems like
They
Grush
have
is
no
calling it
power.
out too. If you saw that recent Grush interview, like he's kind of like calling out Lou and the crew more, and with what Corbell
Oh,
said too,
thank
like
God.
the finally, because we've known we're in the mix. It's been in the back channels for a long time, percolating these like little riffs, which, you know, it's kind of, yeah, it can be dumb as a drama, sure, but I personally am more interested in like the narrative control stuff because like there's only so much you could do with a video, you know what I mean? Although I do have the best drone documentary, just saying, about the biggest wave, just saying. But
You do.
yeah, these are finally percolating up, these like little back channel things, and you know, it's how the sausage is made. But yeah, I'm curious to see.
Well, I
where it
think a
goes.
lot of these people that don't, like you said, maybe call it out or talk about it, your Grushes, you know, maybe some of these other quote whistleblowers, and I use that term loosely. There's no way that they can look at what's happening with Lou and support that, and I don't think any of them do. And that's why you see Lou. He doesn't really have any influence in the UFO community. I see the
Anymore.
comments, the stuff
Yeah.
he can't control. People
Major
hate
fall
him.
from grace, dude. Fall
They,
from
they,
grace.
they just don't trust anything he says. And you know, I may not agree with Grush on certain things or even maybe believe some of the stuff he said, but I tell you what, he doesn't seem like some shady dude. I think he's a dude who genuinely believes in what he's doing, right? So and I don't think Lou's like that at all. I think
No.
some of these other whistleblowers, they do believe in what they're doing. Again, I may not agree with it or think they're a little lost or that, but I mean, at the end of the day, I have no idea.
You started
knowing,
in what,
but
2023,
you
right?
feel genuine.
On this beat, Patrick, 2023.
20, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was right before Grush came out, right before he testified that spring. I was putting together I was doing my first interviews and putting together videos to launch Vetted in June, right when Grush
Nice.
came out. And I mean, Jesus.
The
I
vibe
have no
that
idea.
like Grush has right now, like Lou had for a while, like he was like really kind of like viewed as like a real hero. It's so annoying, but yeah, he's had a
Absolutely.
huge fall from grace. It's been wild to watch, but that's happened before in the past
100%.
too. You
all
know
of
what I mean?
that, all of his
Yeah.
fame, in my opinion, was entirely based on the fake title that Leslie Keane bestowed upon him. That's what resonated, because by calling him that, you acknowledged a government program that
Correct.
confirmed all of the conspiracies about UFOs. And that's what really kept him there, because he wasn't that impressive, you know, when he came out. Like he said some stuff in a very kind of like serious, stern, somber way that you could add music to and be like, what a speech, right? Which I
Yeah.
did, You know what I mean? I did do that. Put it the
Yeah.
video. You know what I mean? Those were my first videos in the field.
Sure.
And it was like, okay, but beyond that, what do we have? Beyond that, what are we getting? Beyond that, where is all this coming from? What is happening? And very
Yeah.
quickly, you know, after like 2022, there was like all these weird reports of people who were working with him or podcasters, and he was getting all twisted up. And there was just this one, I remember this specific one moment where there was multiple podcasters who were suddenly on a do not mess with these guys. They're all like haters, and they tried to like stitch Lou up on some stuff. I'm like, what's this about? Then you find out like it seemed like what Lou was doing was trying to convince certain podcasters he was giving them loyalty tests, and he was also having them turn on each other as a form of loyalty tests. And like when someone would fail it, they would all have to turn on the person who failed it. And then after like, you know, a couple months, there was only a handful of people left, and they were all loyal to Lou. And I remember noticing that, like, that's weird. It's a weird outcome and such a strange thing to do. And then I think soon after that, you get like the I want to kill ufology article. And then it kind of becomes a little more clear. It's like, for me, it's like a mixture of position, opportunity, and ego, where position, opportunity, you know, Lou's a smart guy. He's an accomplished person. He got, you know, that opportunity because he put himself in the right place at the right time from hard work is what it seems like. But then there's ego and self-esteem that are kind of mixed in when you're doing your own kind of op that's kind of off the books. And now like where leadership is lacking, you implement ego, and you want these people around you and who are doing crazy stuff because whatever, they're going to go out there and troll these people who are saying this thing about my wife or whatever. You know, I can understand that to an extent, but and then it gets into this other level where obviously there's too much influence, too much expectation of control, almost like the narrative belongs to them, you know. And that's what like
or like that one with disclosure, like kind of what happened with you recently, right? Like, how dare you how dare you speculate that Matt Brown leaked the freaking video, bro? It's like wild.
Oh, that reaction was so weird, dude.
And I don't even hate. I want to be clear. I don't like dislike that damn guy or anything, but it just goes to show like how like good people could fall into this like really weird. I call it cult brain, bro. Not to be disrespectful, but
I mean, there were certain phrases in there that I think were kind of, you know, regardless of how, you know, you want to defend your friend, fine, I understand that, but I would never be like, my friend would never tell a lie. He would never. It's like, well,
his sole purpose is for the betterment of mankind and humanity.
Yeah, that's like, is he a superhero? Because you're elevating him to some crazy height. You know what I mean? Like, this is weird. He's a person. Just be like, oh, my friend's chill. I don't think he's like that. No, but they went too far with it, you know.
I think he regrets it, honestly. I think he regrets saying that and posting that personally. And, you know, I think my response helped. And, you know, it's like Ender's Game. I don't know if y'all remember that book or even the movie, I guess. But like, I always think about this. There's a scene where he gets bullied a lot, and then one day he decides to just beat the crap out of this guy that bullies him, right? And they're like, "Why'd you keep beating him?" He's like, "I wasn't trying to win the battle. I was trying to win the war." Meaning, I never wanted that guy to bully me ever again, right? And that's kind of what my message was, and that's why I put out that video, because I don't respond like that to a lot of people, but Dan had come after me before, and I tried to talk to him civilly, and he always turned me down. And I just thought, I don't want you doing this to me anymore, dude. So I'm going to lay this down in a way that you just be cool. Think about it, right? Like before you do this stuff, and let's talk civilly. But we're allowed to speculate and hypothesize. It's all we have.
We're supposed to.
All we have. Show me where the UFO is. I can go. You know, take pictures of it, bring it, you know, our body. I can't. I mean, it's all cryptic puzzles and fucking, you know what I'm saying? Mad libs. Like, all we have is hypothesizing and speculating, and to take that away or to, you know, to suggest that in a DM after that, he suggested that I endangered his life and that I didn't care about whistleblower safety. And it's
that's
like, don't gaslight me, bro. Don't gaslight me. This is bullshit. I'm not endangering his life. My show's called Vetted. It's for entertainment purposes only. I'm a buffoon. Whose life am I endangering by suggesting that?
Well, that's identical language to I don't know if you like the coverage I did of Who Docs David Grush. There's a journalist, John Lucas, who was working with the Roswell Daily Record, who was aware of Grush coming out of some article. He had heard something about it, and he used a pen name for him, or whatever. He said Dave Grohl. Like they kind of like used the same initials, but used a surname. And when he did that, he sent the post out, and he was getting really a lot of hate from people like Sawan, who ended up doxing David Grush hours later, which is strange. People like Jonathan Davies from the UK, who was like, "You're putting David Grush's life in danger. How dare you? This is crazy." And then John Lucas ended up hitting up Jay Stratton and was like, "Hey, am I on the wrong here? Did we do something wrong?" And Jay Stratton was like, "No, you're fine." This is all according to John Lucas, but that idea of you're putting a whistleblower in danger, like you said, all we have is these questions because we don't have the proof, right? But when the people come out of the woodwork to attack us for asking the questions, they're giving themselves away as having more information.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And
They're
also being used in the back channel. Like,
exactly.
Does anyone else kind of get the vibe that Matt Brown hit him up to do that? I do.
Or just that there
Not allowed to
are
speculate on
people
that.
there are people who were so close, like the whistleblowers and the Corbells and the Lous. They keep an insulated group. They have people they bring into the fold that they have out, and then they're meant to go out and get really defensive. And they're meant to be bonded to these whistleblowers, to be bonded to feel bonded to disclosure. So when they see someone critique it, they take it personal, and then they attack personally without even being instructed. You know what I mean?
Correct. And again, I want to be clear. Like, I get that you protect, defending your friend, or you respect your friend, and you want to become friends with some of these people because you believe in the cause. Like, I get it. But there's problems with that, clearly, right? There literally can arise problems because of that. One, you start putting your neck out for something you have no idea about. I mean, Dan made statements about Matt Brown he has no idea about. What if it comes out that some of that stuff's not true? How dumb do you look, right? Like, and again, that's why my position is I separate UFOs from my real life. So I don't make friends with these whistleblowers or any of these people or any of this
That's
stuff.
where the manipulation happens.
I just don't hey, maybe it is all for the great cause, and maybe it is all for I don't know, but I'm not going to take a chance. And I've seen too much BS and too much people trying to persuade me and manipulate me personally, behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, on the side of the scenes, under the scenes, and any which way possible to make me put out certain content. And that message to me from Dan, and I think Dan's a good guy. I think it was meant to influence me in a way that, hey, don't talk like that. Don't do that. Don't say that. And I will double down. Do not come and try to control me, because I will double down. Like, it's like, but some people are influenced that way. They don't want to rock the boat. They want everyone to get along. And I get that. And I respect that. And I'm not trying to rock the boat. But I'm Texan. It's in my blood to, like, leave me alone. I'm doing me. You do you. If you don't want to ask those questions, if you don't want to do that, then don't. Nobody's asking you to. But I'm going to. Leave me alone, right? And I can't stand people trying to, like, come in and influence you and, like, well, I would do it this way, or, I would do this, or, hey, maybe you shouldn't. Am I coming to you? When have I ever messaged you about something you did? Never, because I don't care. You know? So I just
or also, did you ever say anything when Mike
I just don't
Disclosure was
become
doing
friends.
psycho shit to us, or they've done psycho shit to you? Like, did you ever use your voice to, like, say that was putting anyone's life in danger? It's like, no, but this is. It's very much like, you know what I mean? It's funny the way people
I
do
agree.
that.
And look, I definitely have built friendships in this community. But I stop at a certain point. Like, people that are the UFO celebrities, or that have made claims, or, quote, are the whistleblowers. I just don't befriend any of them. I'm friendly to them, but I'm not their friend. And I have plenty of friends. I don't need any more. And I have good friends. I just don't need that. And some people do. I think that happens, right? Some people come into the community lonely, haven't really found their place maybe in life, and start meeting these people and start, again, believing in the cause. And I get it. I respect it. I'm not knocking it. That's their thing. But you can't expect everyone to do that. And if they don't do what you did, they're a bad person now. right? Why don't you see it this way? Do you not see you're endangering this person? Are you not for the cause? How does this help disclosure, Patrick? You know, these sort of comments and questions. It's like, what are we like? We're not, this isn't one big boat that we got to keep afloat. I'm on my own little dinghy over here doing
Yeah.
my own thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, you
And
do
if we
whatever
all
you
thought the
want.
same way, it actually would be bad, right? It's like we said
I
earlier. Like,
agree.
yeah,
That's
it'd
a
be like,
cult.
yeah, you want to have different
That's a
ideas,
cult.
constantly like sharpen each other's things, and yeah,
Absolutely, man. You know, you know, for me personally, the way to the truth or whatever you want to call it is through disagreement, not through
exactly.
agreement,
Through
right?
debates and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it's through
Yeah,
disagreeing. That's where the strength lies. The strength lies in our ability to defend disagreement, not in our ability to honor agreement, right?
yeah.
That
Also,
that's
didn't you
me. That's
break,
me
by the
personally.
way, on that whole little thing? And we're just having fun. This is our first time on Reddit, so we're just having fun with the bro.
Yeah,
Didn't you break in that whole little
great.
timeline that like they saw the Hellfire missile video the night before or something like that? Didn't that come out in that? Or did I mishear that? Is that what he
Yep.
DM'd you, right?
Yep.
That's a
Yeah,
story. I
exactly.
need to clip that still on the thing because didn't George Knapp try to act like he saw it for the first time at the hearing?
I think a lot of them did,
They tried
and
to
they
act like
didn't.
that, right? And they didn't. They totally didn't. What did so
They
tell us
didn't.
exactly what did he tell you? Dan said.
Now, I don't know if that's true. That's just what he's
Yeah, that could.
saying.
Yeah,
I believe him personally. I believe that that's what happened. Yeah, he said him, Matt Brown, George, Jeremy, and some other people all saw the video before the hearing. Now, I don't know if it was the night before or what. That I don't know. I don't know the exact date, but that they had seen the video beforehand. And actually, in that video about Matt Brown and Jeremy and again, I like these guys and I respect them. I'm not trying to attack
yeah.
them, but they Jeremy had gone on TMZ after the hearing and talked about how he had seen it before.
Okay.
That Burleson had showed it to him. So he did say that publicly, and that Burleson had asked him to help, like with the like with the video, like what do you think this is, or use his contacts or something along those lines. So but I don't know. Yeah, they tried to make it seem like, hey, this video is going out, and my biggest question was, why would you? No offense to Corbell, but he's readily admitted he's not a video analyst expert or image expert, or so. Why are you going to Corbell and being like, hey, what do you think of this video? Like, well, wait, who cares? What do you think? Like,
Yeah.
why are we not getting image and video analyst involved with this video before you just plop it out to the world? And also, Dan insinuated that did dead dropping the video to Burleson was illegal, that video shouldn't have been shown, and to put it out, right? So we got people committing crimes, and we're not calling that out. He's not calling that out. I'm the bad guy on my YouTube channel.
Honestly, the way
You know
Dan
what I'm
acted
saying?
to it makes me, and I already thought Corbell and them did it because it was literally the Corbell and Knapp hearing, and I'm not knocking them. And if they did leak it and it's real, like I think there's commendability to there. But the way they're acting about it's so weird, and I
Sure.
think the whole hearing was them. Is the weaponized witnesses, got Knapp and 3 people who've already been on weaponized. We're just everything's kind of what's the word curated around Corbell and Knapp, except this one random video. No,
That's a
they
good
brought
point.
the quote unquote red meat for their hearing, and I'm allowed to speculate on that. And if they did do that, I think
I
that's
agree.
commendable of them. You know what I mean? And honestly, this little latest chapter with the way Dan's kind of having a semi crash out about it is kind of shows like I feel like they did. Why was he so adamant of like you can't say that, Patrick? Don't say that if there wasn't any meat there. You know what I mean? If there wasn't any smoke
I
there.
agree. It kind of made me think, well, maybe that is true,
Yeah, right.
actually, your reaction to it. And I speculated that it could have been Matthew Brown or Jeremy Corbell. And I honestly didn't even know that, and I don't know if that's true. It is an illegal act, the dead dropping of that video. I don't know if that's illegal. I don't know. And so I wasn't trying to insinuate that, but the fact that Dan thought that, and then by me insinuate it, is insinuating that Matthew is committing a crime. Well, wait a second. I didn't know it was a crime to begin with. So what are you
Yeah.
saying? That was a classified video and it shouldn't have gotten out, and whoever dead dropped it did commit a crime? But
Yeah.
regardless, you know, yeah, I don't mind these videos coming out, and of course but I think the origin is important of where these
Super.
videos are come from, and I think you only get a small you only get a small taste, and you get a small piece of the puzzle, and then everything builds off of that small piece of the puzzle, and there's no way for you get a clear picture of things. And I think people try to get a clear picture of, look at this, you know, Hellfire missile that hit this UFO and it kept going. Holy shit, right? But wait a second. We don't know anything. We don't
Yeah.
have the beginning of that video. We don't know why they went after this object. Was it a test balloon that they were shooting at? And those are tracking transmitters that are floating. But like, we don't know any information. Well, but the U.S. government designated it as UAP. And that means unidentified.
Yeah.
I always ask, the bigger thing is, how did it get designated UAP? Did some dude see the video and go, I don't know what that is, UAP, moving on? Or
Yeah.
was there a 3-year long investigation with 1,000 people who tried to figure this thing out and couldn't, and it's still labeled UAP?
People love
That's
stretching
different.
words here in this field, right? Like
Correct.
they love stretching it.
Correct.
And also like Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp, to their credit, they're like the big players, right? They're kind of like Rogan's UFO guy. If anyone's going to be targeted with disinfo, it'd be those guys, right? Or these hearings, right? So it's like we got to be
Sure.
really critical of everything that's coming out, because like, and it's not to say like, oh, they're a piece of shit or fuck them, but it's like, as the movement, we
No.
want our best foot forward. So we're all just kind of
I think they
shouldn't-
believe
yeah.
in what's happening. I truly do. I think Corbell believes he's doing the right thing, and he believes in his cause, and I have no problem with that. I think he's done a lot of great stuff for ufology and for people and all of that. And George Knapp is OG, baby.
Yeah.
Like, for real. I got
They've
nothing
had a
but
lot of cool
respect.
whistleblowers come forward and stuff. and
Absolutely.
yeah, I totally.
And
Yeah,
I
I'm not-
like information coming out. We can then do with it what we want, right? So I like information coming out. I don't mind them putting out videos. I don't mind them this or that. I just think we need to ask the bigger questions around it as well, right? When you say, Jeremy, that the government designated this video as UAP, well, what are the other details? Again, was this, you know, a random Friday afternoon it got designated a UAP, or was this a 3-year long investigation that's why it got designated UAP, right? We need more information. But
Kinda like this
am
last
I
one,
glad
right?
that comes out? Yeah.
Isn't this last one? I don't know. I was all excited about it, but then I saw the bird video compared side by side, and I'm like, ooh, that kind of looks a lot like birds flying. You know what I mean? And that was also designated UAP.
Correct. Exactly. The triangle formation one.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It looks identical to birds, especially when you see a night vision. And I kind of tricked people in my video where I showed it first and said it was a UAP video, and then I revealed it was birds, you know. So
Yeah.
mentally, if you're watching, go, yeah, that is UFO. Oh, wait, that's bird. Like, you see, it's a lot of times we come to the conclusions we come to because there's already an answer preset in there.
Mhm.
So, right, and we're all susceptible to confirmation bias, right? It's just it's there. It happens to all of us, and I think it's just that's why working as a team or a community is better, because as one we're more susceptible to some of these faults. But I think as a group, it helps lift each other up and fill our voids, and you know, think better a little bit about this stuff. But you know, it's not easy for anybody. I respect anyone's personal journey and all this, and you know, it's that simple. Look, guys, I'm gonna go over a few comments real quick because I got some
Cool.
what you call it, super chats. Let me just throw these out. I don't want to
Nice.
miss some of these people.
Oh, hell yeah.
Fish Stink. What a name. I love the internet. Fish Stink became a YouTube member. Thank you so much, Fish Stink. Welcome aboard. Zaparu. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Rest in peace, Rocket. Prayers to you and your family. Oh man, don't make me cry on the live streams, Uploader. But thank you so much. So much. Shout out to Rocket, brother.
Yeah.
I know you.
Are you gonna get another
I know
dog?
you watching. I
From
have
dog
another
heaven?
dog.
Oh yeah.
We have 2 dogs, so
Oh, cool.
you know, got to focus on Mac, my other dog, at this point. But yeah, he's got a brother. So thank you, Zapuro. Fleischer, appreciate this stream, guys. What a treat. Thanks, Fleischer. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't think Fleischer is your name, so I'm gonna go with Fleischer. Thank you for joining us. Sailor Boy Troy.
Hell
So
yeah.
what do we, the people, do about this? What for it to fall? Wait for it to fall, maybe is what he means. Then what? At what point is incitement allowable? Do we just conform to PDF alien lords?
Oh,
I'm gonna let y'all handle this. I don't really know.
I think like what he's
Understand
saying is like if we can't trust anyone, then what are we doing, right? Are we just going to sit back and wait for the government to tell us stuff? I think that's one of the biggest follies you can make in UFO research, is assuming that the government will be the people who disclose. The more you look into it, even on the surface level, you realize aliens, if they're around the way we think they're around, or even in the pop culture sense, they are visiting individuals, and they don't seem to have a military clearance for it. They're not clearing that with the mayor of the town. You know what I mean? They're just showing up
Yeah.
at your house. So, you know, people are always having a personal connection, if there is one, with these things, and the government is not the intermediary for it. It'll never be the intermediary for it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, there's a lot of stuff, like talk to researchers, read books. There's so much more stuff out there that's exciting and tangible and tactile. You know what I mean? That you can actually like go check out. I mean, hell, Patrick, you made a whole documentary on this, right? Go check stuff out. Like, you know, you didn't get government clearances for that. Just like
Yeah.
research it, check it out.
I agree. Yeah, well said, man.
I'll
I
say,
think anyone look into the government for the truth. Just look
Yeah.
at the history, right? What why that never works out. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'll say I do think there's a negative element to the phenomenon. I do think like abductions and stuff happen, and for a while there, it really tripped me out, especially like when I got all into this, like a month or so. But then I just kind of like it. I just had to like train myself to be like, well, it's kind of the circle of life, right? And like, had any of us been born 1,000 years ago, our village could have been raided, and we could have been enslaved by some neighboring tribe, nation, and we would have just lived with it, or we could have been eaten by a bear. You know what I mean? So like, you can't really spend too much time like psyching out or tripping up the fact that there's probably someone out there that's more advanced than us that if it wanted to could totally mess with us, and in some cases it does seem like it does mess with people. You know, circle of life type stuff. We all eat meat, right? Most of us do. Can't really complain about abductions if we eat chicken nuggets, you know.
I mean, that's
So
kind
one
of fair.
perspective.
Yeah, if we're the farm, you mean? If we're
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. Absolutely. How do we treat lower life forms?
Yep. This is a better farm than the farms we make for chickens, right? You know, if it is a farm. I'm not saying it is, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty I think it's just as valid as any other theory, right? That we're a zoo or some sort of, right? Yeah, something like that for another species. Why is that so far-fetched?
Yeah.
You know, from all of this. And in fact, I think that could be very plausible, right? You would start a whole planet
Yeah.
of life to see how it grows, right? It just becomes this, what do they call those? And not atrium,
A
not
terrarium.
aquarium. Yeah, that word.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why is that so crazy to think for some advanced civilization that's 1,000,000 years ahead of us or whatever?
Yeah.
I don't think that's that crazy,
Pretty
dude,
logical.
to be
No.
honest with you, that we would be, you know,
Especially if they experience time differently, like on a grand scale. Then it's like
Good
a
point.
day. It's like a little moment, you
Yeah.
know, like they just ran a simulation in 5 minutes to check it out. Cool. You know, for them, it's nothing. It's like, you know, almost nothing to them, but it's our whole
Sure.
world. You know, I mean, that's the scariest part about the simulation theory, is that, oh, there's just so many simulations. We're probably one of them, like insignificant.
How do
Like,
you
that's
argue
crazy.
How can you argue against
you can't.
simulation theory, right? It's
You
like,
can't.
it's just like, it seems totally plausible.
Uh-huh.
Now, I will say this. I did hear an interesting argument from someone I'm about to name that a lot of people don't like, but I personally have no problem with them. Neil deGrasse Tyson. But I get a lot of people hate him in the community, but I still like him. And he said something about the simulation theory that I hadn't heard before. And it was on a recent episode of Dr. Maim Bialik or whatever, Blossom, the one that just had Gary Nolan on.
Oh, that
Neil
he
deGrasse-
crashed out on about. Did you see that, by the way?
Yes, I did. And then Neil deGrasse Tyson is the next guest. How funny is that? He
That's
hates
hilarious.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. But Neil deGrasse Tyson also argued like, hey, I can't argue against the simulation theory. Like there's you know what I mean? It's just it could be true. Like it's probably possibly true, but he did say something that was interesting, right? Because the theory is always, you have this original civilization that then creates a simulation. Either you create a bazillion simulations or that simulation creates another simulation. Does that make sense? So it becomes
Yeah.
inception of simulations, millions of them, right? Like it just keeps going and going. And you have to wonder, are we in the original, civilization, or are we in one of the simulations? And odds are you would be one of the simulations. Well, he did argue, well, we either are the original civilization, or I forget what he said, but basically there was only two options. It was like, because we haven't created a simulation, we don't have the capacity to create that sort of simulation right now, right? So clearly we can't be one. Oh, that's what it was. We're either the last simulation that hasn't yet created the next simulation, or we're the original simulation because we haven't created it, right? So we can't be
that's
one of the ones
interesting.
in the middle.
Yeah, that's
Right?
interesting. Yeah, that's like a time paradox thing. Reminds me of the
Yeah.
movie Sphere when Samuel L. Jackson's like, well, in this spoiler alert, but he's like, in this thing we're discovering, it says that they don't understand this anomaly, but we all identified it just now, which means we don't make it to the surface to tell people what this anomaly is. So we're not getting back up there, and they have to figure out
Yeah.
how can they survive while getting back. It's a very interesting thing, but yeah, the time paradoxes are very interesting.
I agree.
And I think Neil deGrasse Tyson might be onto something there. We don't have that. It's a theory right now. We think we
Right.
could produce it, and that's a big thing. Thinking we can produce like true artificial intelligence is different than doing it. Believing
I
we
agree.
can is so different. We don't have it yet, but it's
Exactly.
right there, right? It's like,
Yeah.
but we can
Yeah.
do all kinds of stuff. People are crazy. People are really wild. It's kind of, not to bring it too back to the Epstein thing, but I'm seeing Walter
let's do
Kern.
it.
Walter Kern, who's been reposting Panda a lot, is exploring like on his own these connections between, Crowley and the rocketry and all this stuff. This is very interesting to see people step through this through the lens of Epstein. People are figuring out like, oh, what is this?
He did the Grush interviews too, right? That everyone we love our little nuggets. I know Patrick loves a good nugget, right? Whenever Walter Kern drops a nugget about like Grush, yeah. Also, Patrick, by the way, your song was hilarious, bro. That you played at the beginning, the bombshells one.
Yeah.
Patrick sucks or whatever.
Yeah.
You got to show Chupa, maybe on the way out. But
that was funny. We all know Patrick loves a nugget. Wait a minute.
Oh, we do. We do. We're always like, oh, dude, he said that Grush might have said this, and we're all like, whoa,
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah.
Well, he did the original not original. He did a print interview in his newspaper, Old Country Highway. I went and bought it. I have the physical newspaper.
Oh, nice.
With Grush, and I think I don't know. I think like I think it's like I want to say Occult is in the title of that too, by the way.
Oh, really?
But of that article. But yeah, anyway, so Walter Kern has David Grush's connection. So what did he's investigating the Epstein.
Yeah, because basically,
connection?
okay, so here you go. Here's one of the Epstein. And sorry for people who are like wanting the Epstein stream. We kind of went off topic a bit, but are you familiar with the whole Jack Parsons, Aleister Crowley thing? Have you talked about that on your channel? I think probably, right? There's this
I haven't really talked
occultism.
about it on the channel, but I know about it.
Yeah, so Jack Parsons, NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory, he was all into occultism and was palling around with Aleister Crowley, which is a theme that comes up a lot, even with the Skywatcher stuff. It's a through line, this weird dilemma, occultism. And basically, Ghislaine Maxwell's sister is Christina Maxwell, and she's married to the son of Jack Parsons' friend and like co-founder of some companies called Frank Molina, who's also like in the Aleister Crowley circle. So it just goes to show like how interconnected and intertwined all these things are. And I'll just say it again for the listeners. Ghislaine Maxwell, so Jeffrey Epstein's like lover / fixer, her sister is married to a descendant of Frank Molina, who is Jack Parsons' friend and Aleister Crowley's friend, although he wasn't as into the occultism as much. Also, L. Ron Hubbard was there in the mix for all that stuff.
Yes.
Scientology. So
Yeah.
it just goes to show there's an intertangled web of occultist, geneticist.
Well, eugenicist too.
Yeah,
I mean,
eugenicist.
Aleister Crowley's an interesting guy, right? He created what we would call pop culture today, this kind of counterculture extremism kind of thing. I mean, even the Beatles credited Crowley for kind of opening some doors because everything was very conservative for a while, right? Even like music, people were playing covers. They weren't really writing their own original songs. They were playing like, contemporary versions of traditional songs. So Crowley's credited for kind of opening these doors through culture, psychic, whatever. But also he has this very dark thing that's happening too, which is probably, how he got into these kind of mind frames, or how he broke the paradigm of like normalcy by being kind of, a degenerate and a grotesque person, and like a deviant by all accounts, and feeding into the deviancy, like then he is tied directly with Jack Parsons and then L. Ron Hubbard, right? So this is weird because the three of them, right, they engage in these rituals, they engage in this lifestyle together, and for better or for worse, a lot of their lives got much worse from doing this stuff. Jack Parsons ended up dying from an explosion in his house, I think the early 50s, right? Like that's kind of an odd thing to have happen. It could have been sabotage, who knows, but he was messing around with rockets. But with L. Ron Hubbard, you get this new religion, right? That's mixing science and metaphysics with faith, and that overtakes a lot of really weird aspects of Hollywood, which is a CIA operation. So it's kind of like weird there. So you get rocketry technology, right? NASA, and then you get religion, Scientology, and the California kind of mix of new age, like religion, and then you get this pop culture push, right? And not just pop culture, also kind of really weird esoteric things that are coming in. And these three guys were palling around, and they injected these aspects into society through these whatever you want to call them, like conduits or whatever. But there was a very clear connection. If you look at the timeline of when these people were alive and when they passed away, and you cross-reference that with people like Russell Targ and Edgar Mitchell, and you know what I mean, like Hal Puthoff, there is a lot of crossover, not just with study, but with like location, Southern California, mid California. These are hubs.
Relationships.
Yes, relationships as well. Like this new Ghislaine Maxwell crossover with that group doesn't surprise me in the slightest. You know what I mean? Because you expect it. Because remember, Panda, I would ask this question: where are all the children of Aleister Crowley and Jack Parsons?
Real quick, guys, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Y'all keep talking.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah,
take it over.
I'm probably maybe we'll wrap it up soonish.
Yeah, definitely. Here, we're almost at 2 hours, so but I can't hold it anymore.
No, you're good. We'll freestyle.
Yeah, you go to the bathroom and then come back and we'll close it out.
But yeah, Panda, remember I asked you, like, where are all the kids?
I know. Here's the real secrets about Patrick. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. But to go from like theorizing that the kids from all these like esoteric cults are missing, we don't know where they're at, and they were the ones who were being tapped into all this weird stuff. There is some research, right? You have Laurel Canyon, all these like musicians, right? That's an interesting thing. That's one group of kids that are coming up. You know about this, right? All these musicians that became stars.
Yeah, like the Doors, right?
Yes.
Jim Morrison and that kind of thing.
And I think also that crazy guy, Charles Manson.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
For sure.
Okay, so you have that kind of aspect going, but we theorized, okay, well, where are the other kids? Could they be the Elizondos? Could they be the Cahills? Who are they, right? And why are they so tied with Puthoff already, but in the back channels? Could they be the Dan Farahs? But here we have, through the Epstein release, we literally have a descendant of Frank Molina emailing his aunt about what girls, what in Hollywood he wants to bang. Like, that's
for
so
the people
weird.
Listening, the nephew was literally emailing Ghislaine saying he wanted to bang Natalie. This is in 2002. He was 14. He wanted to bang Natalie Portman, who was it? Jennifer Love Hewitt and Denise Richards, right? And then Ghislaine Max was like, okay. Sounds good. If you have
And
any more
she
names
said,
to add, let me know.
yeah, expand on this list whenever you want. What a weird, and it wasn't described as I would love to go out on a date, or it would be great if I could meet these women. It literally is like I would love to do explicit things, like, you know, I mean, it wasn't too descriptive, it wasn't gory, but it was so strange. An exchange with your own aunt, I couldn't imagine, dude.
Even
Couldn't
as a
imagine
joke,
it.
that's weird.
He's very weird, but that's Frank Molina's grandson or great grandson. I'm not sure, but still super odd.
I think just grandson.
I mean, I wonder, dude, how many. I would like to see this family tree. I don't know if you know this. I found an email in the Epstein files that deals with. I don't know. Everything's redacted, but the essence of the email is, oh my God, I can't believe they can do this. I just went to ancestry.com and look what they posted. And the links are blocked out. And it says, no one's supposed to know this. And then it's like, it's a person, I think a woman, emailing Jeffrey Epstein, being like, can we take this down? We have to figure out a way to get them to remove this.
Weird.
And it was this person's ancestry.com information. So maybe who she's a descendant of. But it was like, how'd they find this out? How could they know this? It was very bizarre. So I wonder how many familial and incestual, and I don't mean that in the gross way, but I mean, you know, there's so much crossover between the media and these influence campaigns, and obviously this old occult world of these pioneers and what we're seeing today.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, all right, man.
Yeah,
that was a fun talk, fun vibes.
No, that was
the
a
first
fun
time on the
talk.
show. We had a lot of fun.
This is
We had a good
awesome.
time.
This is awesome, man.
I hope you guys had a good time. Real quick, a couple super chats. Android, I want y'all to read these. Enjoy the critical thinking y'all are doing. Shout out to Android.
Woo.
Great dude.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Android. And Patrick, plug in your fuzzy mic before you start the next live stream. Be blessed.
I thought you sounded good.
I like that mic.
It is fuzzy. What is it?
Hell
I think they
yeah.
mean-
Audio
I
is
think
always
they
the
mean
worst,
the
isn't
old-
it? I hate doing
the
audio.
old, the old big mic that I used to have, which I do have. It's just it's just so bulky, and I got so used to this thing, and I love it.
Yeah.
It is cool. It looks relaxing. Legit.
Yeah, I got
I
this
don't
channel
mind it.
thing. I kind of like
You
it
know,
though.
that's yeah, I have one of the. I got one of those big Rogan mics, as I call it. That's the only
Mhm.
reason I got it. The SM. I don't even know what it's called. Anyway, no, man, I really appreciate you guys coming on, taking the time to do this. We should do it again. It took a long time, but we got it done. This was
We did it. Woo.
This was awesome. I've been in y'all spaces a million times, so
Yeah.
Sure, dude, for years.
yeah. So this is really just a space with
Yeah.
our face. Is
Yeah.
essentially
Hanging out with bros.
Yep.
We get each other, and I know some of the conversation probably people who just want their UFO entertainment might be like, oh, but you know, who cares?
It's a live stream.
Yeah,
It goes
we're
where
having
it goes.
fun.
It's like a fireside chat,
Yeah.
right? Like a dinner chat where it just starts
Yeah.
to go different. But I think those are more exciting.
Yeah.
But hey, people can tune out or tune in if they want.
Also,
It's
if
one
you
of those
really
things.
want some in-depth, super hard Epstein UFO stuff, go check out my other channel. Just type in Red Panda Koala 2 with 2 eyes. I did all artsy way, and I've been going ham
Roman numerals,
the past
baby.
week on all. I've been activated. I've summoned up, Roman numerals on them. You know.
No, y'all are. I told now that you're here too, but I told Panda, man, you know he's crushing it on X. But so are you. Y'all are both.
Oh,
just
it's crazy.
Absolutely
We're activated.
murdering.
Dude,
I
but
mean,
Red's on a generational run right
I am
now.
on a generational rip.
When I'm seeing like everyone in the world repost this stuff, I'm like, okay, let's go.
Bro, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of insane. I'm just like, holy cow,
Yeah.
y'all are just killing it right now, dude. Yeah, ride the wave.
Ride the wave
I
as long
think
as we
it's-
can. Yeah.
Well, I think it's just on it's double. Like one, just as creators, like it's cool to get that
Yeah.
attention and for all the hard work you guys put in, but
Yeah.
also like it's a good cause in my opinion to
Exactly.
shine a
Something
light
like
on
this.
stuff.
Exactly. But yeah, man.
So
It's been real.
yeah, I think it's great. So anyway,
All right,
thank you guys
guys.
for coming on. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to everyone who watched. Thank you, Vetters. Tupa, I will add your links down below in the descriuption. I had done it
thanks,
already
man.
for Tupa or for
Mhm.
Red, but I didn't know you were coming on. So I'll add
Appreciate
your links to follow. You also have a YouTube channel. So, but we'll put the X and YouTube and please guys go check them out. Not that y'all need it. Y'all are killing it without the
No, I
I wouldn't
appreciate
mind some of
that,
these YouTube numbers though. Go subscribe to my YouTube channels, all of them. Red Panda
Yeah,
Koala, Red Panda
love your
Koala,
audience.
UFO History Archive, and Red Panda Koala 2 on YouTube. You're killing it. You're going to be at 100K before you know it.
Oh yeah, dude.
Probably
yeah.
by the end of the week or
Yeah.
next
Yep.
week or something like that.
Shout out to all the vetters out there, dude.
Vetters, yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Vetter Nation, rise up,
For
bro.
real.
What is it?
Vetter
V.
Nation,
What is it?
rise
What
up.
is it? Do you have a thing?
You have to
You
make
gotta
one.
make one.
You gotta make a gang sign, dude.
You gotta make a gang
Yeah.
sign. Dude.
When I do the
Oh,
piece at
V.
the end, it's
Oh,
gotta
that's
be
perfect.
right.
Yeah,
Perfect.
V.
It's subliminal.
Vetter Nation.
It's Vetter Nation. I'm stealing that. No,
Yeah.
that's great. No, yeah, man. Clearly all my engagement is on YouTube, not on X. I don't get that kind of pull on X, but no.
Still respected on
again,
X though. People know the legend,
Sure.
dude. They
Yeah.
respect it.
absolutely.
The grind is
Absolutely.
you never miss a day. That's legit.
I do miss days. I do.
Well,
Now
miss
you do.
days.
You did a
Yeah.
whole year and a half,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
The first year and a
but
half absolves you from all the missed days in the future.
Yeah, I spend more time on my videos now. So
Yeah.
I work every day. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I'm working every day. I just spend way more time on putting out my videos and researching and clips and this and that and blah 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 production. Right? I just
Dude, the
kind
work's
of
paying
increase
off.
that.
Dude, the videos are
It
good. They're
is.
great, bro. Like
It
I like
really
sitting back and
is.
watching, like, oh shit. Because I like you're in a different time zone too, so they'll come out of these crazy times. I'm like, oh
Totally.
hell yeah, let's go. Dude.
yeah.
They really are. I'm all over the place with that.
Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, man, had a great time. This was awesome.
Fun
Best
times,
of luck
guys.
to y'all. We'll talk soon. Thank you to everyone who tuned in to watch. And as I always say, hang on, I'm gonna put a video out as our outro. But y'all bounce.
All right.
no
Peace out,
worries.
guys. I'm gonna go to the
Okay.
bathroom now too. Bye.
Peace,
All right,
guys.
y'all. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace. Oh, I gotta hit one more button. Peace.
No one likes this guy named Patrick. He's kinda pathetic, so tragic. Makes the most with the little that he has. Chasing aliens and UFOs. He lost his marbles, everyone knows. Makes the most with the little that he has. Like a paper bag, he won't last. Some say he's sensational, others say he's delusional, but most agree he fucking sucks. Some say he's not the sharpest tool, others say he's just a tool, but most agree he fucking sucks. He goddamn for sure fucking sucks. He goddamn for sure fucking sucks. No one likes this guy named Patrick. Super pathetic, dramatic, kinda believes in magic. Magic makes the most with the little that he has. Chasing aliens and UFOs. What's next? The moon is a hoax. Well, I kinda believe in that one myself. Anyway, back to the song. Makes the most with the little that he has. Like a paper bag, he won't last, but most agree